All right, we're working today on Skagit casting and having no slack in your system. A lot of guys struggle. They cast okay with the Skagit lines, but they're not utilizing the D-loop. And to get a big, powerful D-loop, there can't be any slack. There's got to be, the whole system's got to have tension, and it's got to be taut. And have the anchor, the bottom leg of the anchor needs to point towards the target, and there can't be any slack. And so you need to pay attention to your anchor placement and then watch the whole sweep, watch what's going on, and peel that line good and powerfully without getting too crazy, but you have to peel it out and up so the slack comes out of the line, and then you don't have to cast. You don't have to kill it with your forward cast. So, since we're casting the commando groove, and we're a little over line, we're a little heavy for this switch rod, so I'm gonna have to go slow and smooth, and I'm gonna peel immediately and keep the tension in the system until the forward cast. So I'm gonna have to peel fairly robust, but not too much, and then cast it before it sinks. And once you quit peeling and you've got your D-loop, you can't hesitate. If your sink tip dies in the water, it just robs you of power in the cast. So it might require a continuous motion cast. You just got to season it to taste. You got to do everything smooth, and you can't overpower it, but you have to have enough power in there that you don't have to just kill it with your top hand or with your forward cast. So let's try it. Tailing loop right there. So with a tailing loop means I'm hitting it too hard. So I gotta peel it more smooth, keep the tension in the system, and then smooth out my forward cast. That's better. Let's try it one more time. What happens when we peel our line off the water, or rip or tear or create the white mouse during the sweep on a waterborne cast is, besides giving us tension in our system, it also starts the fly moving. Then when we begin our peel, it begins moving the fly and putting tension into what will become our D-loop. So what happens with a lot of casters is they peel, they get their D-loop, and then they hesitate. And as soon as we hesitate, especially with heavier tips and flies, the fly is going to begin to sink, and it's going to rob the power from the cast. I watch caster after caster set their anchor, sweep around, hesitate for a split second, the sink tip and the fly begin to sink, and in that split second, power is robbed from the cast. The caster has to hammer the forward cast. Sure, it flies, but it makes you very tired, it wears you out, and it robs what can be a very, very powerful cast. We peel our line with smoothness and a little bit of gusto, but it's not violent, it's not crazy, it's controlled. But what that does puts you into position to have a forward cast with a very light anchor that shoots off the rod tip like it's been launched out of a catapult. If your cast is kind of struggling to get out there, it may be that you need to peel the line with gusto. It has to be smooth, it has to be an even sweep. It can't be jerky, herky-jerky. It's got to be smooth. It's got to continue at least to rise. But you can do it with a lot of power. And if you're not getting the power you want in your forward cast, you might need to put more effort into peeling that line off the water, ripping it up, getting that fly moving. So when you do make your forward cast, it flies off your rod tip. So with a Skagit line, it's pretty straightforward. You need to be on basically the ragged edge of blowing your anchor to create the tension in your system to deliver a big payload. If you're fishing big tips and flies,